Indian No More. Chapter 8. The Wrong Kind of Indians. Addie ran home to get some pink plastic dolls and doll beds, and Keith brought back toy bows and arrows decorated with brightly colored feathers and fake leather. "Can you teach me how to shoot an arrow?" Keith asked, handing me the bow. "I don't know how to shoot," I said, and handed it back. "Doesn't your daddy own a bow and arrow?" My brow wrinkled. "I don't think so." I looked over at Pee-wee sitting with Addie, who was going nonstop with questions. "What about an Indian costume?" Addie asked her. "Costume? No, why would I wear a costume?" Pee-wee seemed perplexed. Frankly, I was too. Addie threw her hands in the air. "Geez, what kind of Indians are you? Do you even have a teepee?" I never thought about it. Teepees, Indian costumes? Heck, I never saw teepees or any of that stuff, except in a couple of old cowboy comic books at Cousin Harlan's house. I realized that unless we did something Indian, these new friends wouldn't believe we were, and I wasn't about to let them think that. "I bet Daddy knows how to make one. He can make anything." I raced inside the house and found Daddy relaxed on the couch, reading the Los Angeles Examiner. "Keith and Addie are asking us to make a teepee. Do you know how to make one?" Daddy furrowed his black eyebrows and put down his paper. "What?" he asked. I repeated the question. "Umpqua don't have teepees," he said. "Just make them a lean-to like I taught you." "But they don't want a lean-to. They want a teepee. That's what Indians make." Daddy laughed. "Well, not an Umpqua Indian. You know that." He went back to reading his paper. I sighed. Meanwhile, Pee-wee poked her head in the door. She signaled me to follow her outside. Keith said he would make one. "A teepee?" She nodded. He went home to get supplies. A little later, Keith showed up in the backyard with some rope, an old bedsheet, some long nails, and a hammer. He walked over to the young walnut tree that stood near our tall wooden fence. He studied the tree. Then he tied a knot. Then he tied the top part of the sheet around the tree trunk with rope. "Where did you learn that?" I finally asked, watching how he knotted the rope in ways I had never seen before. "Boy Scouts," Keith said. From there, he stretched the sheet outward and nailed the edges to the ground. The entrance was one flap of the sheet that hung inside the teepee. "So what do you think?" he asked me, his chest sticking out. I raised my eyebrows. "Well, it's much better than what I would have made. I didn't know what Boy Scouts were, but there was a lot I didn't know about life outside Grand Ronde. Pee-wee and I used that teepee with our friends all afternoon, and the day after that, and the day after that. More questions were asked in that teepee than I had ever heard before.